From the mysterious world of Hyrule, Ganon has sent out randomized force throughout the land. 4 brave souls have opted to join us, and the journey is now being broadcasted directly to the comfort of your home. As we say, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to today's ALTTP daily race here on Speed Gaming 3. Today we have ourselves a Fast Friday. Open boot starts. 7-7 Fast Ganon, Calvin, Fear Agent, Alice, and Idiom are your graces for today. I'm Professor Render. Join me in the goof. Proof is my co-com Claymore729, and we are underway. Really quick.
Whoa, we are already underway. I was not prepared for that, and I'm sure Calvin was not prepared for that hammer either.
Not at all. Yeah, so that was a really quick start. Oddly appropriate for a Fast Friday. But Link's House has a hammer, and Sanctuary has a piece.
So if you're not familiar with what Fast Ganon means, that means that the racers will not be required to ascend Ganon's tower in order to engage Ganon. They may have to if a required item happens to be in there, but we might see them just gather all 7 crystals and hop right into the pyramid if they're feeling confident.
Yeah, and typically with these Fast Fridays, you for the most part never see Ganon because Fast Ganon, the Pyramid of Power as whole is already exposed, and that means if you're ever looking to go to GT, it's probably for your third, or at least a sword, if you're still on Fighter Sword for whatever reason.
So we got plenty of divergence already. Our runners are all over the map.
Yeah, both Alice and Fear are heading towards Sanctuary. Gonna use the hammer that they picked up to get the front of escape taken care of. Calvin opted to go for the Lost Woods play. Edium went over towards the Lumberjack Ledge.
And I think Fear and Ellis both picked up bombas from the uncle's chest in the sewer. That might be important.
And so Calvin heads over towards Kakariko Village.
Not a terrible amount he can do there right now, but with those bombs, you can find the chest in the back of blinds. And Illis and Fear Agent both have the level 1 sword from the sewers, or from the escape.
Yeah, that'd be the boomerang chest that they picked up that sword from. And there's a shield to back that up in the Blind's hut.
And the mirror, okay.
Yeah, the mirror. I gotta make this clear for everyone in the chat. The mirror's nice. That's I mean, it's a little bit too early for that because you could just mirror delete the blocks in the Blind's hut, but. And as we go into the well, it looks like so far nothing to add, nothing to note here. A lot of money. And the
Level
other sword.
2 sword.
Okay, so the second sword is not terrible. That pretty much just straight up says that we don't really need to go to Ganon's Tower at all.
Well, if our runners are confident with possibly Master Sword Ganon, probably Tempered Sword Ganon.
Right. And, I mean, Master Sword Serverless is never a fun thing to deal with. It's very time-consuming and very tedious, but it's doable.
Doable, but not something I'd wish on my worst enemy.
And just really nothing really much to add on after after that mirror and sword.
Yeah, we are not getting a whole lot of progression. Calvin deciding he really wants that heart piece.
I mean, at least it'll give them another heart, give them a heart, a potential heart later down the road.
Yep, and Ether on the race game. I bet Edium's gonna go for it.
Yeah, with already 2 medallions that we know of, that already it's starting to look pretty favorable.
That's a
Personally, I
good
don't know.
question, Britzy. I don't know where Fear found those gloves.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too. I don't
Probably
know.
focused on somebody else.
Yeah, I don't know if it was. Okay,
Uh,
so our tracker, Mr. Scrubby Tuna, my good friend, he found it in the Dark Cross. Fear opted to take the the key that he got from the bag of escape, sequence break the gloves, and then that's why he has those gloves in hand and is already now doing the Kakariko checks along with the Lost Woods.
that could present a good amount of logic for him, because with the hammer and the gloves, he has access to the dark world, and with the mirror, he can pop back from dark to light very easily.
Yeah,
Once
and
he picks it up.
that's. Alright, so Calvin now over towards Mini Moldorm Cave. And Edium is going to be heading towards the front of Escape, so they will be able to get the bomb boost, at least to get the medallions. Or, they already have the medallions. They're going to get the second sword from here. Calvin needs to watch out here. That fall brought him down to 1 heart. Mini Moldorm Cave has 300 rupees, 50 rupees, a piece of heart,
Third sword.
And the lamp.
In the lamp. Ooh.
So that's so that brings that glove into logic. And we're already at 3 swords that we know of. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe I did not see a sword on Lumberjack Ledge.
No, Lumberjack Ledge had the Book of Medora.
That is one weird that's one weird place for that book. So if they were ever gonna use the book, it would probably either for like reading the pedestal, or more likely than not the tablets, which is like very out of the way at that point.
Yes, they don't necessarily need the book to access Desert Palace, and we actually haven't gotten a map check from any of our runners yet, so we do not know. No, it looks like we got a light world check.
Yeah, we had a light world check before. It was Eastern Palace with the Eastern Palace with a crystal, Desert Palace with a green pendant, and Harrow with a pendant. Calvin headed towards Sawswirl as hot, given piece of heart the fire rod and bombs.
That fire rod is going to be important.
And Calvin opting to go and look at the rest of looking into Eastern Palace.
Not a bad play. He does have the lamp, but he's looking for the bow, or else he's not going to be able to. So, recon for him.
and Edium is gonna do some his back of escape checks. Illust heading for the desert area and seeing that Desert Ledge only has bombs and heading forward towards the Genus Cave. And inside Agina's cave, we find a heart container.
I would be surprised to see one of our right-hand runners, Fear Agent or Idiom, dip into Dark World at some point soon, since they have the items for it. The only other place that's really open to them at the moment is going to be
Do they
Eastern
even have
Palace and perhaps Tower of Hera.
Do they even have the Moon Pearl?
Oh no, you're right. I am.
Yeah, that's what I was
just
figuring.
lost
That's
in
what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. The Moon Pearl. You still need the Moon Pearl to prevent them from being a bunny.
Or whatever they turn into.
Well, we do have access to the mountain. That's one other thing. And also we have Sick Kid because of Calvin finding the green potion.
Which could lead to progression.
And yeah, as one of our chat points out, that Eddie, East F Mountain looking to be a pretty favorable choice to go into. Because we already have the entirety of the mountain to worry. We have the entirety of the mountain to play with. We can hop into Hera and probably find both items there. And as we are about to say that now, we did see that the Blue Boomerang was in the Ice Rod Cave. Didn't fail to mention that. There's 3 bombs in the Ice Rod, the Vanilla Big Heat chest. So I feel like at this point, if Calvin would be better off. As soon as Calvin gets the glove from Alpha Dark Cross, I feel that personally, you definitely would want to go and do those.
Do the mountain checks while you have them.
Yeah, we have the mountain checks, and Fear opted to do some Fear and Eddie both for doing the water walks. Like how Alan only had 15 rupees, and the Waterfall Wizard only has 40 rupees in total. Two sets of 20 rupees.
They're gonna end up possible. I didn't see if they both armed the double water walk, but they it doesn't matter since it's only a Pizza Heart. But they might not be able to get it if they don't have the double water walk armed.
Yeah, the double water walk is an interesting setup that the boots has, and there's the cape from off of the Zora check. That is actually, well, we already have our Aga Lodge, already have our Aga still primed because of the lamp and the swords that we picked up, and that cape adds on to it. Now, technically speaking, the cape really doesn't. It's only just a reinforcement and not really necessary at this point, because, well, unless you want to do some spin or some cape strats on various bosses, or just trying to cheese some of the fights. But considering that we already have our lamp and swords, it just it's more just, like I said, just a reinforcement.
Yeah, the runners are currently being nudged towards Tower of Hera or Aghanim, but without the Moon Pearl, there's not really a whole lot they can capitalize on beyond Aghanim.
Right, because that Moon Pearl is still out there, and more likely than not, it's going to be on the mountain.
And
now,
the Moon Pearl happens to be on the pyramid. That does make Aghanim a hard requirement at this point.
Now, the other thing that I've seen chat talk about, because chat is just cruel sometimes, or not sometimes. It's actually they are always cruel, but they pointed out that you can use that book to get to you can get that book in order for various things like the Ether Tablet or even Desert Palace.
But as Walkix, or no, as Brazy said, the book could be progression. We currently need it to access Desert Palace, and with its position on the Lumberjack Ledge, our runners will have to go into, or will have to defeat Aghanim to clear it. To get the book. So that's one possible way the siege could go at the moment.
Okay, I did also get our map check. Turtle Rock and Pod are the 5-6 crystals, and Mire is a pendant. So we'll need at least one of the medallions in order to complete the seed, unless for whatever reason Mire has some progression.
Or, God forbid, something on a pedestal.
But that with that ice with that. So with the Mire being the medallion, we already know that Samari cannot be on Ped. We already have our gloves and what?
I said potentially the silver arrows could be on the pedestal, which may not. Which, while it's not a requirement, certainly makes it easier.
Yeah, but when are people ever gonna get the pedestal? When are people ever gonna get the silver arrows on the pedestal? That's the question.
Not likely. Not with Mire being a pendant. The time investiture is just a little lopsided.
I don't think anyone could be there. But also, as Scruff could point out in the chat, also point out in the chat too, it could also be logically the first bow that they can potentially get. Would that mean it would have to mean that for I don't know the stipulations between the pedestal on the pedestal with the bow on pedestal and a fast cannon C, considering that GT could it's just you never go to GT whatsoever.
Yeah, if bow were on pedestal, that would mean that Eastern Palace is pushed back in logic.
I believe so. I can't really tell, but there is that bow anyway. So that's that whole bow on Pedis thing is rendered useless.
Oh, I missed it. Where was that? I was talking about bow
It was
on
in
ped.
Paradox
Where?
Cave.
Ah.
So going for Eastern Palace. So going for the Eastern Palace now. That is just straight up going to be a crystal for both Edium and Fear. However, that still means that means that you don't really we still have a few things to do, but as one of our chat members points out, there's still 2 items in Hera, and Fear and Edium opted to not pick them up. Also, this dead rug is just ridiculous from Calvin, not gonna lie.
Well, when are dead rocks ever helpful?
If you position them right, then they're helpful. But the dead rock, the second dead rock that Calvin put up was enough to actually make him reset the room.
Yeah, so minor setback.
And obviously, you need the Quake for the dead rocks, and we don't have Quake, so whatever. Now, okay, so here's our confirmation. Pod and Turtle Rock are the 5-6s, and Mire is that pendant. So Edium and Fear are gonna just pretty much the same checks that Calvin had done earlier on, and Calvin now heading towards Hera, thinking about it, gonna head in now.
I may as well.
Now, this Calvin and everyone else can in fact clear out this dungeon because they have their fire sources, and Calvin's opting to do that now.
Yep, fire source, mirror. This is basically the best possible situation for clearance here.
Calvin opting to set up for the coffee break, which it's just simple, just layman's talk for just if you are on top of a tile when it's up, you have iframes until you leave the tile that you're on.
It's useful in a couple different places, but the best use for it is here.
And it doesn't really. It's just, but the applications for it are very minimal at best. Some of them include the chain jump room in Turtle Rock, where you can use the iframes to get past the chain jumps without taking the huge amount of damage that you would take otherwise.
Oh yes.
GT's spike room before heading towards Fire Snake room. That's another application of it. Like I said, it's very minimal at what the applications are for this particular one. And Fear is opting to go. Fear and Idiom both heading into the back of Eastern Palace.
While Calvin continues climbing the Tower of Hera, gonna grab these two chests in the room here.
So
no, he will drop down from above.
So that means that the big chest and Moldorm have items. Big chest of Hera is going to be blue mail. So sort of vanilla, but it's not in the right dungeon.
It's not in the right dungeon, and it's a good pull. I mean, these runners don't have the most health in the world, and more armor is always a good thing. While Fear Age and Idiom both engage the Armless Knights, almost screen synced. Not exactly.
They actually both are screen synced. Idiom is the one who draws first blood at 2250, just with Fear Agent just right behind about, I think about a millisecond or like a second later. Calvin onto the Moldorm fight as well. We'll get information about whether or not that is necessary or not. And Calvin just keeps getting bullied left and right. Takes that fall. Yeah, that was a wrong not a wrong fight, but that was just wrong from Moldorm.
Yep. Hopefully this time he gets his revenge.
I mean, obviously he's gonna get revenge. I believe he may have. I think what happened is that Calvin had poked Moldorm, and that was what happened. So typically it's gonna be a spin and a slash to take care of that.
Oh,
there's that Moon Pearl.
There's the Moon Pearl.
And that actually straight up means that, not just straight up means, well, Fear and Idiom had made the wrong call and leaving out Terra when they did, but they're gonna head back now.
Yep, because they don't really have a choice. But with that Moon Pearl, that does mean that the rest of the game is now open to them.
Yeah. So that Agascare is thwarted, and looks like Idiom is actually gonna gamble. It's actually heading towards Aga right now, even though this is not the right call.
This is gonna put him a little behind unless there's something on that pyramid ledge that just opens it up. But I don't know what that could be.
I don't really get the. I mean, I totally get what Edium's is thinking here. He doesn't want to believe that it's in Hera, impended Hera of all things. Calvin made the right decision and actually dipped it when he was actually in there.
Yep. Everyone
I'm
else
saying
is
this too because
closed loop again.
And I'm saying this too because everyone has fire sources. You could have just done Eddie could have headed into Hera and still would have been able to get the Moon Pearl either way. Because all the torches really care for is just a fire source, a lamp or a fire rod. And Bombos doesn't count because it's just a scream wipe. So Calvin gets all the stuff gets his bow from off of Paradox Cave. So of course he is down one crystal, but can easily make that up. I personally typically in a fast Ganon seed, you're gonna more likely than not see Pod last, unless like Calvin decides to do Pod Eastern last. That's another possibility as well, because by the time you're heading into when you're doing fast Ganon, you'll typically be floating over towards 5 if you had cleared Pod already, and that's just the quickest way to get over towards the Ganon drop, the Pyramid Power drop down, as we go into Hive Cave. And actually,
it was closing the loop, getting their pearls.
So while Edium's doing Aga Dive, and Calvin is going to head over during the Hive Cave now, and there's the Ice Rod, which is necessary, and just nothing else to boot. So just a typical the actual Ice Rod Cave is here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't get why. And Fear is opting to do the Spike Cave, which I get. I personally get that.
It's an interesting play. There's not a whole lot to recommend it. Although half magic's not bad.
Yeah, half magic is not a bad call. I'm not gonna get. I don't give Hype Cave ratings because I don't find it remotely. It's kind of stretching it, you know. But Edium is on the Aga fight. I was gonna say that how many blue balls we're gonna have, but I was focused on Hype Cave, so. And plus, this is the wrong call anyway, so. Eh. Fear gonna do the stick can't turn in, which is just 20 rupees. Edium takes down the Aga 1 fight, and is just gonna be seeing what is on the. It's just going to see what's on the pyramid ledge. It's not going to be anything else. But that's the other medallion.
It's quick.
It's the other medallion, but I mean that works. But
I mean,
again,
it's better than nothing. It could well be required for Turtle Rock access, but it's not.
Well, to be fair,
the odds are not with it.
Well, to be fair, we have all 3 medallions, so it doesn't matter what medallion it is.
Well, what I'm saying is if Turtle Rock happened to be Quake, then Aga was actually a heads-up play. Or, more correctly, ended up not being as big a waste of time as we had originally conceived.
And now Calvin is heading towards Pod right now. I finally figured out how the Pod logic works. Typically, it needs to be at least 4 keys out of the 6 possible keys in the front. And once you have, typically you'll see it as if, for most of the time have a key for a key in one of the first chests, as it will be demonstrated here. If you have at least like one key going into this one, it will more likely than not be a key for a key. Other than if not, then the key will end up in this where the big key end up down here, and it's actually the gold sword. So that key will have to end up in this bottom room here. And to answer a question, chat, as far as we're concerned, the Aga requirement is not required for Darkhold access, but could more likely but it can just be something else. Now, we know that the Book of Medora is on the Lumberjack Ledge. For all we know, we don't know about. We don't know if this is a required for Desert Palace or the tablets. Fear Agent drops down into the Mafia fight.
So Edium being in Desert Palace is a little bit of a weird play. It's a good play in that it's a logical chain from Aga. If he beat Aga and then just ignored Desert Palace, it would be a bit of a weird investiture of time. By going into Desert Palace, he potentially validates the Aga play, dependent, of course, on what we find here. Desert Palace is a green pendant, so there is the item of Sahasrahla to consider, but the balance, weighing the odds, it looks like Desert Palace is going to be a bust, but we can't say that for absolutely sure.
As we say that too, Fear takes down Mafia and gets the second crystal. Played it pretty rough, and there's the silver arrows from over on Calvin's side. So we do have at least a standard fight for Ganon, and also the flippers. Flippers isn't Flippers does really good here. So far nothing to report over on Edium's side. Has to go to the back and fight Lambo.
Yep. So we're gonna see what Lambo can possibly have, but it looks like Trials of Darkness was the Galaxy Rain play here.
So as far as the pet is concerned, for those wondering, only possible stuff I can really see here is just hookshot.
Yep, hookshot.
Yeah, the hookshot's just the only thing that's left, because we have all our medallions. We have the medallions. We know that Samaria cannot be on Ped because of Myers' medallion. We know Myers' pendant. We already have a lot. We already got our two silver. We got our two bows. We have the flippers. We have pretty much everything on the tracker, but that's already lit up thus far.
Yep.
It's just the hookshot.
Yeah, neither the flute nor Titan's Mints can be there because you need both of those to get into Miser Mire in the first place.
Yes. And to answer question chat, no one has gotten a cane yet. That's what we've been talking about. We know that cane is going to be out there in the wild. It's not on pedestal. It's just going to be somewhere else. It's not going to be in a spot where it's just not going to be on pedestal for this particular seed. As soon as one of the runners finds a hook shot, then we know Pet's dead.
Calvin not having the easiest time with these terrapins.
And Desert Palace turns out to be nothing of Wharf, but the green pen is still an option. That could still be what we need. However, since if we find the flute and mitts elsewhere, then that might be the only possible position for the runners to go over towards Desert Palace. just to get the green pennant out of it.
Yeah, not the best use of time.
I mean, if it's something of warp, then it could be pretty useful for their time. Calvin takes on the Helmless Arcane. That will be the first. That'll be his first crystal, and will be the 5/6 crystal. Also, because of Turtle Rock's pen being a 5/6, we know that Samaria cannot be on the Pyramid Fairy.
That's correct.
It's a pretty, very straightforward logic. And there's the hook
I
shot.
know
So
the hook shot.
Pet said. And oh, that is very important now.
Ooh. Okay.
That was the myth.
So Desert Palace not a bust after all, huh?
Yeah, that puts everyone that was a huge play for Edium, and that paid off huge. And that was a very well done. It was the weirdest call ever. So, by logic, you need to kill Ika 1.
Yep, because you need the book to get into Desert Palace, to get the mitts to get Meyer.
Yeah, or not just that. Ice and Turtle Rock.
Yep. Not Meyer. Sorry, my brain was on Meyer.
Well, it's still technically required. It's just that while Pen will not have anything of use, it's still there unless, like, for whatever reason Kane shows up in the front. And we know that Meyer cannot have the float there.
Yeah, so Meyer probably has just nothing. Unless the logic feels like being really perverse. But I don't know what it could have.
And either tablet is just a heart container. Now, actually, I will be honest. Chat has a point. As much as I'm always the belief that Pet is always dead until proven otherwise. It's possible that a fetch quest could show up on the pedestal, and that could lead towards Kane. That is also one of the possibilities, but that I don't see in the cards. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true. I completely blanked there because I had to fall for the chat's questionable. I don't want to insult you guys, but, like, you guys are cool. But, like, you baited me into thinking that, like, for this weird fetch quest shenanigans. But yeah, because Pet's gonna be nothing. We already know that Pet's dead.
Speaking of chat, Vetman with the rather amazing pun, Fear has a minuscule chance of winning.
I beg to differ, but I will at least plug the sprites here. Calvin's running as a Psyduck. Fear is running his typical Minish Caps Link sprite. You know, when Eslo actually you turn into a bunny, or you turn into a Minish whenever you're in the overworld and not in the Minish village or whatever, like any dungeon that has Minish capabilities. Also running his typical Cerno sprite, and Idiom's running his typical Fox sprite. Idiom taking a fall on Moldorm. So, Fair's gonna get the ice rod from out of Hype Cave, and Idiom gets his revenge on Moldorm. Calvin gonna get the cape from over on Zora. Not really nothing of notes other than like if you want to like cheese some of the fights in desperate situations. And with with Edium having the Tides in the situation where he had, it's a big call. It's a very huge play here. Like I, entirely honest, that throws Edium in a very favorable position, and no one doesn't realize this until like they probably won't ever gonna head back towards Aga until like it's the last location, pretty much everything. Turtle Rockets requires Bombos. Not like it matters because we already had all 3 medallions from the start.
we got Bombos from the from Uncle's chest.
Yeah. So yeah, of course we'll still need Kane for that because we're just a Kane away from Go mode. At least from over on our side, we have no mode. Edium will have to go to Feast Town to get the hook shots. Edium heading for Super Bunny Cave.
And yes, Fire Rod was in the back of Saha's shed.
Yes, it was Sahasrawala's closet, and Super Bunny Cave only having a heart container and 300 rupees. And speaking of the Cancer Mario, there it is. So we're in no mode.
I just missed that. Where did it show up?
It was in Hookshot Cave.
Aha! Excellent.
And it's just right underneath the doorstep too, so he can at least, well, Adium still needs to get the ice rod from Hype Cave and the hook shot from off Thieves Town. Yep. This will be a double dip for Edium, unless he decides to save a mirror do a mirror portal. That's one of the possibilities. The only dungeon he can't do currently, the one dungeon he can't do if he does that is Swamp Palace, because he would have to lose. He would have to use the mirror. He would have to go in the Dark World and no. I'm completely mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not. I fully admit I am not versed in how to properly reroute Turtle Rock so you don't have to dive through the entire thing again.
I'm doing a different route over to with the fire rods here. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because that's true because you gotta have Aga 1 to Aga 1 still there. So ignore me because I don't know. I apparently don't know anything.
Does anybody really know anything?
We're all lost in this world, knowing nothing. That was very somber. I apologize. So, Edium diving, so Edium diving, Turtle Rock while he's there. It makes sense in his mind. Of course, we already know that the Ice Rod's in Hype Cave, so it will be a double dip for him.
Speaking of being lost, if you want to be found, why not follow our runners?
At about 45 minutes in,
Um,
I typically do it around the hour mark. But if you guys want to follow these guys, for sure, like definitely give them a follow. Calvin, Fear, Illis, and Idiom are our 4 featured runners out of a pool of, let's see, 9 people.
and they're putting on a show for us, so don't forget to give them the love for what they do for us.
Yeah, not to mention 2 our trackers for the day are Derek Sharna and Mr. Scrub Ninja Tuna, my good friend, Mr. Scrub Ninja Tuna. We managed everyone in the commentary booth, and I kind of appreciate his funny style. Definitely give them a follow as well. I'm Professor Ender, and my co-com is Claymore729. Give us a follow as well. I do things on my own channel. He does other things on his channel, I think.
I don't do things. I just say words.
Oh. Well, I do things on my own channel, so if you want to watch,
follow him.
Me. Yeah, follow me, because I do stuff. I do stuff on my channel. I tend to do like other stuff that's not linked to the past. But if you want to follow me, yeah, go ahead. Idiom now heading for Mimic Cave.
I guess just on a tour de force trying to find whatever he can. He's probably looking for the hook shot or the ice rod. Not gonna find him here.
So Calvin heading for the graveyard land.
I don't think there's anything that could be useful here.
No, because we're already in no mode. The only thing that could be really useful, in my opinion, would have to be bottles. Powder is okay, is good in this because it will let you powder fairies. That does open up the magic bag for Calvin.
But similarly, there's no point. I mean, because there's nothing important of value is going to be there.
Right, but at least you got a safety. Oh, Darnek makes a good point in, Darnek makes a good point in chat, I believe. If you find the flute, or no, right? The bits are on
Yep.
Sauce, right? I'm again drawing a complete blank there.
You would need the mitts in order to bypass Aga and backdoor in the desert. So,
And that would require some crazy overload logic, overload glitch logic, which we can't really do, or meta glitch logic. But again, we can't do that. Oh, but there is a bottle on K45. Illa's actually not picking it up. Answer question in chat. Idiom is actually gonna get the silvers right now in pod. And Fear opting to go for Swamp Palace, which, all right, that's not a bad play, over on Fear's perspective. Of course, they're still looking for the Titans minutes, and we already know that Idiom has a very favorable position because of his play that he did Aga 1 before anything else, and got the mitts from off of book locked book-locked
Words are hard.
Desert Palace, which was also a green pendant, which was where that's where the green pendant came from. So that means if they're ever gonna at least catch up to Edium, they need to go and kill Aga 1 now. But at this point, really, I mean, Edium still has control because because of the play that he made very early on the seed.
Yeah, like Slayton says in chat, you're doing a fine job. Words are hard. Don't worry.
Yeah, at least I think I am. Calvin is gonna get the hook shot from over in Thieves Town. Yeah, words are hard, I will admit. English is a hard language to learn. Fear opted to go for the diver down. This is a glitch that is fairly recent, about like a month recent. It lets you. So the way that kind of works is that Swamp House's water tiles are kind of weird. They don't function the same way that like the water tiles expect you to do, because of the fact that there's that whole like filling up the water and draining the water. More specifically, draining the water in this particular room with the flooded chests. And by doing some weird tricks with weird shenanigans, by clipping yourself into one of the railings and jumping down, the game never checks for water at all, and you're able to walk on water, and it lets you check the 2 chests. It's also applicable
It's weird.
Yeah, it's also applicable in left side swamp. By doing a different setup, you're able to do left side swamp a lot more quicker than you normally would.
And yes, Sphere probably will go Aga 1 after Swamp because he doesn't really have a whole lot left. He's gonna last location it pretty hard.
Well, I mean, everyone at least everyone is probably gonna last location Aga 1 because
really, who wants to do it?
Yeah, it's been in the back of their minds for a while now. Because they know that the book about Lumberjack Glitch, they know that it's there. It's just that when are they ever going to come back to it? Edium did it because he was looking for the Moon Pearl, and it just so happened to pay off for him, even though it wasn't intentional. Edium gonna head over to the clear out pond now. Now that he has the silver arrows and flippers. I believe everyone had done Lumberjack Glitch to answer a question in chat. Answer a question in chat. Edium didn't. I think Idiom did in fact. I did believe Idiom checked it before he did Aga, so he knew it was there.
Hadn't checked Lumberjack Ledge before doing Aga. That's like the biggest stroke of luck in the history of Randomizer, I think.
I wouldn't say it's the biggest luck in history, but it's a very lucky call from a lucky play from Idiom. And yes, Pez dead because to answer your question, chat. It has been dead since about the 30-minute mark. And I know this because chat had baited me into thinking that Peg could be on Samaria could be on like a fetch quest, and it can't be because of Samaria. But anyone just takes out the Helmless Arcane. So Illis is gonna grab the 50 rupees from off of Lumberjack Ledge. I believe Illis never saw the shack and did it for the first. Is gonna do it, seeing it now. Flipper checks for Illis. I believe we may have saw in the Lumberjack men under the bridge check. Calvin grabbing the second potion.
I don't think we have. We're gonna see one right now anyway.
Answer question in chat. Ice Rod's on Hype Cave.
It's the worst boomerang.
I don't believe it's the worst boomerang now because of some splash deletion shenanigans you can do now.
Oh, there's new splash deletion tech with the magic boomerang?
Yes.
Oh,
because it
okay.
counts towards for whatever reason it counts towards the Installa shenanigans with that you can abuse with splash deletion. But personally, I would rather just I personally call it a red banana.
So TJ, aggro is required because Lumberjack Ledge has the book, which you need to get into the palace to get the Titan's Mitts for Sahasra.
Yeah, and that's the point. And Idiom had done this like didn't check aggro, check Lumberjack Ledge, found out, and now Idiom has the Ice Rod, and is gonna if he goes to Thieves Town, he'll be in go mode. But yeah, red bananas on Man Underneath the Bridge. Just because someone pointed out that there was a Zelda one boomerangs are considered bananas. Idiom heading for Ice Palace. Has Ice in a name. And that actually lets him do another. This actually gives Idiom more than enough reason to do another fairly recent glitch. It's on band alongside Diver Down. It's called Icebreaker. Also, to answer a question in chat, Kane was in the it was in Hookshot Cave, the bonk chest. So, the way that Icebreaker kind of works, as we'll probably see coming up to this, more likely than not, is now. First of all, we're going to need to talk about doors. Doors in this game are kind of weird. When you're in a door, you're in something called a door state. And that door state, you're forced to go in the direction that you came in, regardless of him. Like, forced to come in. You're forced to go the way you're supposed to go into. In some doors, it's forced you to go there no matter what. Some doors let you go into a door, like in this, like the case of this door here. And by manipulating Link in a position in a certain way, and by using the cancel Maria, you can extend the door state that you're in, because you can hold down when you're in a left or right door, or up, like down or up if you're in a left or right door, or left and right when you're doing an up and down door. And by that you can extend the door state past the barrier that it's intended to be, and past the barrier that blocks away the big key chest, because you extended that state.
So basically, this game's code is more spaghetti than a Clint Eastwood movie, and that's why it works.
That just skirts away the entirety of the point I'm trying to talk about. Like, this is not a Clint Eastwood movie. This is not an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. This isn't even a Michael Bay movie, for crying out loud. This is Randomizer, and we're playing on the Japanese 1.0, which is, and if you know anything about old video games and Japanese and old 1.0 versions, you know that they're glitchy. Like, come on, like,
Because
Pokemon Red and Blue, Misty no glitch, Mew glitch, Pokemon Red and Green version 1.0, Doko Kashira door glitch, all that.
Because the developers they have a very, very small space to work in, so they have to do all sorts of programming tricks to make their games fit onto whatever medium they're putting it on. It's actually amazing that the games work as well as they do.
And this is why localizations fix bugs. This is why and that's why in the US we have the 1.1 version of the game.
So it's less that Japanese developers can't code it, and more that they have restrictions they have to work within based on the size, based on the room they have available. So choices have to be made, and that's why you get Icebreaker, and that's why you get Water Walking, and that's why you get spooky action.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is that the cancel barrier is very finicky, and it's kind of it's not hard to see why, given the fact that the cane is picked up very late into the game. Dude, Firelight. Another of our chat members. If Bombos was required for Turtle Rock, that still doesn't mean it's a Michael Bay movie. And yes, Michael Bay is known for explosions, but just because we need Bombos for Turtle Rock does not automatically mean it's a Michael Bay movie.
I mean, the logic checks out to me.
But Fear's gonna do Aga 1.
Yep, finally gonna pick up that book and be able to then route to the Mitts, so he's got a lot of catching up to do.
Answer question, chat. Hookshot is gonna be in Thieves Town.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. So Edium has yet to do this. He's gonna do Catfish, and also do the mushroom. That's also fair. This actually is also really so now Fear is actually in a good actually doing Aga 1 is actually very good in this case, because Edium is the only one without the hook shot, and everyone else has already went to Thieves Town. So as long as Edium does not head over to Thieves Town and then Fear gets the cane after doing Desert Palace, he's actually in a good standing. But seeing that seeing that you need the book to get over to the clear green pendant, in order to get the Titan's mitts, that's gonna take a while. So at least I'll just do this in like mid game. Let's just do this like mid game, like at around the mid game, because I missed it before because I didn't think it was the right call back then. But how many blue balls for the gas? Okay, the fire is gonna fire because this is gonna be seeded. The way that the fight works is, to put it pretty simply, first attack will always be a red ball. Attacks 2 through 4 will always be could either be a red ball or a blue ball, and the 5th one's always a lightning attack. And the process continues.
So let's do counting with Ganon.
What is it, Sesame Street?
It could be.
We're in Hyrule.
Man, I don't know geography.
Neither do I.
We got 1.
No, I'm not gonna do the count voice. Because I can't really emulate it properly.
And we got 2. And 3.
One, 2, 3 bull balls is needed for Agumon. Okay. I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I did it anyway.
Did it anyway.
Why not? And plus, I can't really do the proper laugh for it, but Eddie M next can now double dip. He's gonna double dip. Turtle Rock.
Double dip
With the yeah, Turtle Rock. He's gonna clear out Ice Armos or Ice Armos. Gygax. Ice Chinex. Yeah, there you go. What's 3 next? I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
TT Attic has hook shot. So Idiom's gonna have to go back there anyway for the for the pendant, but he also needs a hook shot to do Swamp House. And yeah, Eddie was ahead for a while with that Aga play, but Fear Agent's coming up behind him.
Yeah, but all he really needs to do, Eddie really needs to do, is just to get the hook shot from off of Thieves Town, and he's in a good standing. Like he'll be in goal mode by then. And Fear has yet to do that. Just got done with Aga 1.
Yep, and he's about to head to the desert to keep closing the lead.
So here's Trinex. This is gonna go down pretty quickly. Not opted to do the 0 cycle strats over on Eddie M. Makes it a lot more quicker. Not really a lot quicker. It just makes the fight It saves at least about a couple seconds if you do it right. Because projectile travel time is a thing. But Trunks is down for Edia. He's got his 5th crystal. Or no, yeah, it's his 4th crystal. It's his 4th because he did Hera in Desert. So now that Edium is on the way over, it's probably heading over to Thieves Town now. This is gonna be, this will put him in go mode, and he's able to pretty much do everything else. He's gonna do Thieves Town, he's gonna do Skull, he's gonna do Swamp, and these are really quick dungeons to do. But no, Skull Woods is a really quick dungeon by itself. If you do it back to front, then it works. So I'm gonna go with Skull Woods now. Yeah, that's fair. It's gonna be clear. It's gonna be a quick one no matter what. It won't be a huge time sink for him. Now, if Fear Agent heads over to Hookshot Cave after getting the gloves, then that could be a problem. But again, this is a quick dungeon by itself. Like, Skull Woods is a quick dungeon. Thieves Town's a quick dungeon. Swamp with Icebreaker is a quick Icebreaker. Swamp with Diver Down is a quick dungeon.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you don't know Diver Down or you don't know how to bypass other parts of it, it's a slog.
Well, honestly, I mean, to be fair, like Swamp by itself is, if you do it the typical way, like it's still a quick dungeon. Like it's still quick even without Diver Down. You'll lose like about 3 to 4 seconds if through having to wait for the water draining animation if you don't know how to do Diver Down, but it's still quick. Calvin will be the last player to do Aga 1. And Fear Raging is going to get the green pendant. And Eddie M is going to drop that into the modular fight. Gold Sword, now typically, the Gold Sword in the vanilla game would not do anything. But given that the way that it's because of the game, because for whatever reason Modula does not get hit by by Gold Sword damage, that also includes the spikes. But the program, the developers of the randomizer just bumped down the sword, or at least fix the coding up so that way the Gold Sword works on Modula. Also, to answer a question in chat, the Hive Magic was also in Spike Cave, and I'm fairly certain that Eddie will not be able to grab it. But even then, he's got potions to work with, and not just that, but he also has he's got Gold Sword and Silvers. He's not like everyone else's Gold Sword and Silvers. He's not none of them are concerned about magic at this point. Unless they miss a shot.
Why should they be?
Unless they miss a shot, but even then they have a green potion in their arsenal. Fear heading towards Ice Palace while Hillis successfully gets the quick kill onto the Lamos. That'll be the green pendant for Illis. Edium heading for the spike cave, the bumper cave. Just gonna be a heart piece, heart container. Still on the hunt for that hook shot. Just gonna head for the Thieves Town. It'll be good. This this graveyard let's check is actually this isn't terrible. It's you're in the area a bit, and it's kind of a little bit of a kind of a walk from the it's kind of a walk from here.
But I mean, the game is probably gonna push him towards. The game is pushing him towards Kakariko now with the magic powder, so he's probably gonna dip into Thieves Town in not too much longer.
Ella's getting the Titan's Mitts from off of Sashua himself. Calvin almost over there now. Illa's actually making the big play here. He's heading over. He's heading towards. He's in the mountain now. He's going to follow this over towards the. He's going to follow this to the Hookshot Cave and also Dark Death Mountain. This will put him in go mode. However, I still like to believe that Edium is going to be in the lead now, especially now that Edium is diving Thieves Town. He will be in go mode. While Ills will be technically the first one to be in go mode, Edium will be in go mode and has one dungeon at least one has 2 dungeons left to worry about, and both of them are quick dungeons. So Illis is going to lose time because of it. Now Turtle Rock is, no matter how you slice it, is a really slow dungeon. So at 1:17:21, Illis is the first player in go mode, but it's going to be a slower one compared to Edium, because Turtle Rock is always pretty slow.
Mm-hmm.
Ice Palace, Icebreaker is actually, it makes the dungeon a lot quicker. It makes the dungeon a lot quicker. So, and that's his benefit. That's Edium's benefit. He was able to do Icebreaker when Calvin and Fear would not be able to do it. So, really, it's just a matter of I still put Edium in the lead.
Oh, without question. I mean, it's Edium's race to lose at this point.
Exactly.
As you say, the dungeons everybody has left to do, Edium has the quicker dungeon completion.
Yeah, so at 1:18:24, Edium is in go mode, and now with the leading go mode, not the leading term, not the leading coefficient, not the leading racer. I don't know, but leading go mode.
He's positioned the best. He has the best position at the moment.
Yes, he's in pole position. And this is and the fact that Swamp is going to be Edium's last dungeon to clear is great as well, because it's right close up to the Pyramid of Power, and he's able just to run over there, hammer the pegs that's on the bridge, and then make his way over to Ganon, clear the scene out, and you're good to go. For everyone else, though, they do have some advantage. They have saving quits because AGA 1 was hard required. mean, yeah, that does work as well. It's actually save. It's actually, yeah, that's true because it's save and quit. Save. It's a lot more. It saves more time because you're already placed on top of the pyramid. Calvin is gonna get the Titans mitts and just not happy about it whatsoever, and I don't almost blame him really. The fact that the mitts was locked behind Aga 1 locked boots or a book that led to that was locked behind green pendant. That is just not fun. That's just not a. That's just straight up dumb. Straight up evil.
Well, nobody watches the Link's Path Randomizer for nice scenes. They watch him to watch the runners get trolled.
Well, because that's typically what the chat is like. They will go out of their way to make the most ridiculous logic chains. Though the logic doesn't point to it otherwise. And yes, and they always want pad because they want more suffering. They want the runners to suffer more. And they also hope for a Aga ped save because, again, they want the runners to suffer. If you want to do that, then play vanilla. Edium was trying to do the well, that was a sick beat from Edium. He was actually trying to do an item dash. But Fear is also going to be in go mode, and actually, he could actually be in control of the lead. Or no. He's 122.37 Fury is now in go mode, alongside Calvin. But since he's got ice powers cleared, he actually still has to do Turtle Rock, which is slow as I'll get out. And Edium is just going to do a diver down. Literally no other reason why he shouldn't be literally no other reason.
What? He's not. He's doing it with the Cane of Samori, not a bomb.
Samari is another viable option for as well, and it's actually what actually originated the diver down to begin with Samaria.
It's actually on the bomb clip into the railing.
Yeah, bomb clip into the railing had trouble with the setup with the right side Samaria strat. I tend to do the left side one or the original one because that's the one I know best. Now he gets it.
There you go.
But yeah, Edian will still have control of the lead, even if Fear is Fear's last dungeon with Turtle Rock, because Swamp House is a lot quicker than that. I'm now onto the Argus fight.
From where Fear Agent is now, and where Illis is now, I suppose it's possible that Illis could complete Ice Palace before Fear completes Turtle Rock. I'm not sure the splits between the two dungeons, but it's entirely possible.
It will be quicker because Illis will do Icebreaker.
Exactly with Icebreaker, yeah.
Yeah, but seeing that Fear had already cleared on ice, he won't be able to do that, and he has to clear this out, like clear Turok by itself. Calvin would be able to do it, and so will Illis. So yeah, that's what. So yeah, save and quit. Take advantage of the fact that as soon as you kill Aga 1 and you have the mirror, you get placed on top of the tower, the pyramid power, drops onto the Ganon fight, and yeah, this will be a pretty straightforward fight. This will be very easy. Nothing really wrong about it whatsoever. Yaga 2 stays alive for some reason, for whatever reason. Probably he's dead, or probably Yaga 2 is already dead because of the Pyramid of Power's hole.
He
I
died
don't know.
of embarrassment.
Just to kill him again, just to not only kill the body but the soul. And now that's just starting to get into Shakespeare shenanigans. Or not to be. That is a question. And with one more fight here, one more hit here, that'll bring him to phase 4. Silver is his true weakness. Of course, we found one the silvers in pod. We found the other bow was, it doesn't matter anymore, but get your GGs in the chat for Eddie, gonna cross the 1x3 bridge, and they'll be done with the seed once and for all. He will be finishing first on the restream with an official SRL time of 1:26:49, and that's good enough for second place overall, with Bonta finishing first, so a time of 1:23:25. And without any hesitation,
Eddie was
Eddie
tired of the bed of the game, so he just speeds up through the end.
Yeah, like he's just ready to finish this up. He's probably want to look for like his stats or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, he wants to see his completion.
Completely missed what pedestal was. Is that the boots location? Nothing was on the pedestal. Oh, so hi, Eddie.
Hello.
Okay, first question I have. What made you decide to go Aga 1? Like, just directly without a care for the Moon Pearl, like, originally?
I was thinking the Moon Pearl was going to be locked behind that book. And, so that was my thinking. It was either that or, like, Pendant Hera. And, it turned out, I mean, it just felt like an Agassiz with all those early swords, lamp, and cape. So, and with the book being there, I just felt like the book, there was, like, I wasn't certain, like, it could have been nothing, but, you know, I felt there was a good enough chance it was required to just go for it.
Yeah, and it actually turned out to be, while it wasn't the Moon Pearl, it turned out to be the minutes, and it put you way ahead of everything else in the pack. Also, get your GGs in chat for Illis.
It did give you a commanding lead.
Yeah, for pretty much the entirety of the seed, you had a huge lead. Illis will be finishing second with an official SRL time of 1:29:06, good enough for third place overall. No torch glitch for Fear Agent, doesn't really matter with silver arrows.
Question in chat from M4A2000. If the ped would have been boots, if this hadn't been fast, if you didn't start with the boots, would it have been ped required? And the answer is yes, because the big key for Desert Palace was on the torch.
It would not have, because of Green Pendant. Because the boots would have locked it by then. Also, hi Elos.
Hi, GG.
And Fear Agent will also finish in third with official SRL time of 1:29:49, good enough for fourth place overall.
So that was a seed. In the early game, I tried to avoid Aga. Then it was
Oh,
required on me.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I went
So
for Aga. Apparently, I went for Aga way before anyone else. But then I lost a bunch of time because I dove into Turtle Rock. Like after I got the Moon Pearl from Hera, I'm like, okay, I'll just check East Death Mountain since I have the mitts already before the Moon Pearl, and I got the cane, and I was like, okay, do I dip Turtle Rock now? And I decided to, and it turned out to be a complete waste of time because the ice rod was just in Hype Cave. So if I hadn't gone into Turtle Rock there, I probably would have beat Bonta.
Yeah, the double dip for Turtle Rock. Honestly, that made a lot. It made a lot of sense. I mean, you got the cane in this far, and you were hoping that it was Ice Rod. Didn't show up, but hey, it still. I mean, you still got ahead of. You still beat pretty much everyone else on the race stream. So,
yeah, I figured someone would do like kind of an early Aga and then get the book and get all the stuff on the way. So you don't even have to be much of a gambler. You just have to tell yourself, well, I don't know, gloves. Like if you skip the gloves, I don't know, then gloves are gonna be in the dark world, and you just go for Aga and pick up the book on the way, and then you're gonna get your stuff. So I figured someone would do it. And,
also high fear agent.
Hi Fear, GG.
Yes.
And
GG.
so in return, I decided to completely last location the book if it's actually progression, which turned out to be very annoying at times because, for example, I wanted to end my route at Zora, and then Zora gave me the cane, and I was groaning because I haven't checked Bumper Cave at that point in time. So I had to somehow improvise at that point, and it was fairly annoying to check all those garbage overworld checks.
So, I'll be honest. That book the book thing to the mitts was just straight up rude.
I liked it.
I mean, because it worked out for you. Also, the pedestal apparently had the boots location, and it was just probably just junk fill because apparently that's just nothing sleeps again forever. I don't know why, but it does.
So, if I'm hearing this right, EDM, you chose Aga over Hera?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why?
I just wanted to skip Hera, and I don't know. I
mean, you
got
didn't
all
have the
these-
Moon Pearl.
Yeah, but I got all these swords and the cape early. I just figured that the Moon Pearl was probably locked behind the book. That was my thinking. And then I got the Titan's mitts, and I was like, what the hell? And then it turned out the Aga wasn't even required for the Moon Pearl at all. And as soon as I realized that, I was like, okay, I'm probably in great shape here because everyone else is going to last locate those mitts. But yeah, the only thing that kind of held me back a bit was I like I was just saying, after I finally got my Moon Pearl from Hera, I had mitts, went to East Death Mountain, got the cane, and then dove into Turtle Rock without the ice rod.
Illis, did you do the same thing?
Well, no, obviously not. I had my
Alright.
pearl, and I hard last location that book. So we're probably in the same boat, right?
Yeah, I see Bonta saying that it's the easy call, but I mean, I don't know about that.
I felt like I had to commit to not go for that book. Like, I might have gone for it over, I don't know, checking Bumper Cave or checking Stupid Bed or Graveyard Ledge or whatever. But especially with the Agabate, I felt like I needed to avoid that location, because if somebody did it, then I'm behind anyway, and with that regard. So I decided to last location it.
And looks like Calvin is opting to do this normally. I don't know if he's not comfortable with Icebreaker or not.
Illis, did you get Kane before going to Ice Palace?
Yes, I decided to go to the mountain instantly because I figured, since it's fast Ganon, I'm either saving time by not dipping the mountain, or I'm saving time by going to Ice Palace with the cane. And so I chose to go for the latter.
So what was your guys' go mode then?
Mine was Samaria.
Yeah, cane, obviously,
Okay.
because if you kind of last location your mids, it's just Samaria left, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I had
It's-
a hook shot for go mode.
The game worked out was just that it's because of what Edium did. It was just a matter of getting the hookshot first, and then pretty much everyone else,
Yeah, I
including
have to
Calvin.
watch this back if hookshot was your go mode. That's crazy.
Yeah. Not often I hit go mode in Thieves Town, but it happened.
I remember times when you hit go mode on Thieves Town when it's pen on Thieves Town and you skip the back.
Oh yeah, like Crystal Thieves Town.
Yeah, I know. I was just being a smartass.
Alright, I'm gonna hop out. GG's everyone, and thanks to the commentators and trackers.
Same. See ya.
No problem.
Yep, same. See ya.
So while we are
While
Running
we're
this
watching
down here.
Calvin slowly wend his way through Ice Palace, why don't you follow the runners?
we already did this before, but yes, definitely give them a follow again. There's no reason for you to do this again, but I don't know what I'm saying. But there's okay, Calvin, Fear, Ellis, and Edium are your runners for the day. And also Ellis and Edium apparently have the same collection rate, but Fear has like 4 more. All right, Calvin, just making a quick work of this. Trying to make a quick work of calls there. Does it so, and that will be Calvin's 7th and final crystal.
And it's just gonna be a quick jaunt over the Pyramid of Power and then bacon.
And okay, he's still good. He's still going. All right. Calvin. All right, now on to this Ganon fight. This will be the last one here. I'll actually bring up the schedule around it too, just to see what we have up on for today. And oh boy, we have a lot. And we'll go over that as soon as we are done here. All right, phase 3 starts now. Also, phase 3 he started just recently, but just one more swing, they'll get into phase 4. Phase 4 is now starting. should have a green potion in hand, right? Okay, he's using the Okay, he uses he uses the lamp for that. So that makes fair. That's fair. Should have one more ready to go. Yeah, just enough. And that'll do it. Get your DJs in the chat for Calvin, and he'll be finishing 4th. We'll get the official LSL time in just a bit.
Just a little bit. As soon as his screen.
Yeah,
There we go.
He will be finishing 4th at official SRL time of 1:40.55. Good enough for 6th overall. A new PB, not to mention too. Actually, breaking the sub 2 barrier. Congratulations to him. Also breaking the sub 145 barrier. Just before that, Moogle Charm finishing 5th with official SRL time of 1:34.01.
And let's see if we can get Calvin in here for an interview.
Yeah, so as we are waiting for the interview to come up, I'm gonna look through the schedule here because we have quite a lot of we have a lot to work with here. Also, hi, Calvin.
Hello.
GG, Calvin. Congratulations. And good PB.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose. For a seed like that, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that is especially for okay, this was again. I'll be honest here. The book leading to Myths, Green Pendant, the straight up that's just rude.
Yeah, the seed was going fine. I'm like, while I was making my circle away around Dark World, I'm like, I'll find these myths eventually. And then when I get to Swamp, I'm like, oh no. It's got to be the book.
Yeah, still need that, and then it just. I mean, again, the rest of the scene wasn't terrible. It's just that one spot was just the worst thing ever. Really, what ended up being the case was Edium decided to go Aga 1 before the Moon Pearl, and it was hoping for the Moon Pearl to show up in on that book, and just so happened that he got managed to hit the right call with Mitz, and the rest was just smooth sailing, I guess.
Wow, what a big brain play.
It was, yeah, for sure.
You see, I was thinking about doing the same thing, but I'm like, sometimes I dive Aga too early, and before you went up the mountain to get the Moon Pearl off of Hera, you would think that this was an Aga seed, because by the time before you went up, if you checked everything before you went up the mountain, you had Temper Sword, you had Lamp, you had everything. So yeah. I don't blame him, but when I found the Pearl on Hera on Moldorm, I'm like, maybe nobody's doing this, so hopefully this is gets me somewhere, a lead or whatever. But turns out Aga was the right thing to do. The lingering Aga required seed, along with 2 pendant dungeons that had to be finished.
Yeah, we're gonna finish this up here now. So if you have any final thoughts, please sign off.
GG's to everyone, and thank you for the trackers and the commentators. Thank you very much.
Thank you for all you guys do.
And give them a follow as well. Our racers for today are Calvin, Edium, Illis, and Fear Agent. And our trackers were Mr. Scrub Ninja Tuna, my good friend Mr. Scrub Ninja Tuna, and Derek Sharna, and my co-com was Calvin Labor 729. coming up today on ALTTPR. You do not want to miss this now, but the Untitled Goose Game Finals are going to happen on Speed Gaming 1 at 4 p.m. Tasselfoot versus Rowan VDV 77. You do not want to miss this out, because especially at this point now, because this is the finals. Pretty big stuff. Currently on Speed Gaming 2, there's a Metroid Prime any percent tournament going on. Super Metroid multi-category tournament will also appear on Speed Gaming 2. A couple of matches on there too. Here on Speed Gaming 3, we will have a Pac-Man World 2 2020 80% tournament match, 6 p.m. At 7 p.m., we have the Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer Weekly, with Lord Fizzleby versus Shadow Walker 227. On Speed Gaming 4, we will have quite a lot of stuff going on. Leading us off on that channel will be the Diablo 1 PvP Championship match, and then just after that, we'll have a bunch of Super Metroid multi-category tournament matches. Back on Speed Gaming 1, we will have a SMZ 3 1v1 2020 tournament match, Synapse versus Link Force Zero at 8:10 p.m. There are a couple of Z1 randomizer placeholders. I don't know what the heck is all that about. But then they'll also end your day off. It will be on 8:10 p.m. as well on Speed Gaming 5. Another SMC3 1v1 2020 tournament match. Ace0 and Cheeseinator. Do not want to miss that out for sure. Definitely want to follow the Speed Gaming channel, Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6, as well as our multilingual channels. We have Dutch, French, Spanish, and Portuguese. And until next time, may our receipts be not AGA 1 that leads to something ridiculous. And I'm gonna just
in your favor.
And be your favorite. I'm gonna just go and do some stuff now, and I'll take it easy, everybody.
Have a good one, guys.